Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to cover how to maintain the multiple controllers in your UI view. Like in the index.html, right now I have two declarations of the controller. I have two text fields and both are bind with the same object, data.message, data.message. But the first controller start from here and end till here. The second controller start from here and end till here. So I'm just explaining that the scope of the first controller is limited to this division. Whatever you change in this text field, that will be reflected on the first text field only. Controller first. Similarly, if you type second, then it will be impacting only the second text field. So the scope of the first is limited to this controller. Scope of the second is limited to this controller. So like if you do it like this, you write simply message and you are printing this. So also it's working. So whatever you typing in this ng controller or in this app.js, the scope of this data is separate from the scope of the second controller. So this is how we can separate out the different controllers. You can use a multiple controllers in the same UI view. So now I think you got understanding how to write Angular, basic Angular application. This is how to declare a module. Then Angular variable, module variable dot controller one, controller name, and the function. It is written like this. If you see this right here, this is my module variable dot controller. Here I will specify the controller name. And comma, this is my function which I will be using here. So what I'm passing here, I'm passing only scope here. I press enter, and this is the body of controller. So it's something like this. Here you will write, you will do manipulation with the scope data, you will send the data to the front end, you will get the data from the front end and will send it to the factory or backend. So this is how you can write the controller. You can also write the controller in some different way. Like if you don't like this way, there is one more option which you can use. You just write the controller name. This is your controller name. So now you need to declare this in the function, what this controller is doing. So this is just another way of declaring a controller. So this is actually the name of function. Whatever we are declaring here, the same thing I'm doing here. If you want to inject something like I'm injecting scope, or if you want to inject multiple things like scope, root scope or something, then you need to write it like this, dot dollar inject. This is the syntax which you can use if there are multiple things. You can do it like this, dollar root scope. We will talk about these things later. Or factory name, any factory you want to inject. Now you need to define all these things down here. So actually this is being used in the minification process. It will not result in error, because while the minification, this will be replaced by A and B. So in that case, it will not break the code. So this is just another way of writing the controller. Similarly, you can write the factory and services. Role is different for the factory, role is different for the service. We will take a look on those things. So that's all for this tutorial. Thank you everyone.